Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to another episode here on the Life Signatures Radio. This is always going to be purpose, productivity, and resilience. We talk about those three topics every working day. It's a daily show. We thank God that we've been able to do this every working day, averaging over 1,520 something episodes, and we're continuing to go strong. And we're celebrating that milestone even as we continue. We are doing this in a series format. Sometimes we just go through a series of messages, and we come out of a very strong series of over 20 episodes on one topic of apathy. And now we've started a new series, and in this series we're talking about regression, and we've done quite a bit of episodes right now. We've done maybe 4 or so episodes, and we're continuing to be strong. We're talking about regression, the potent power of being patient while you are regressing. We're going to talk about that, but before we can talk about that, we will continue to seal this foundation before we can build on it. So stay tuned.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
To regress is not to fail. It is to go through a phase. It is to go through a season in time. And we need to know how to handle that particular moment of regression. We've been building upon that over the past several episodes. See, we would rather stay in our psyche, in our makeup. We would rather stay with what we know than to attempt something new and be disappointed. We do not want disappointments. We don't want to be disappointed at all. I have never found a human being who is actively looking to be disappointed. That human being is not okay. He or she is sick. Someone who is actively looking to be disappointed. But again, we have to admit that it is a fact of life. Disappointments will come. But the good news, ladies and gentlemen, is that 1, they will go. And 2, the good news is that they are part and parcel of the success equation, because they give us feedback. They show us how hungry and how bad we really want to succeed. And they empower us somehow. They make us to be tough. Right? They build us our capacity, and they make us to get used to, being disappointed, and therefore we don't look at it like it's something that can stop us from progressing. So regression is something that is part and parcel of our lives. It happens actually in very many areas of life. It happens in relationships. Regression. Regression happens in relationships. Even in those relationships where you're just so in love, you can't wait to see her. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. There will be moments. There will be moments of regression. You see, one of the biggest reasons we need to understand about our life as human beings is because we are supposed to be actively involved in it. Our lives have not been set up to run on autopilot. like a machine or like a computer program. We are supposed to run actively. We're supposed to be present in every occasion. So just the fact that you are in love today and you cannot wait to see her, you cannot wait to be with her, you cannot wait to be with him. It is like, I know those moments in God's presence. I will go into God's presence and I will feel, dude, I am enveloped in this aura cloud of love. I cannot explain. I'm just shaking my head from end to end. The avalanche of love is just overwhelming, and I am alone with God. And I'm like, this will never end. And I'm making vows to God, I will never sin. I will never do A, B, C, D. I will never do X, Y, Z, because you are in the moment. Got some news for you, ladies and gentlemen. The problem is that we are not automatic. The problem is that we are not on autopilot. We are not machines. Maybe it's a problem, maybe it's not a problem. The thing is that we have got to wake up every morning and we've got to actively participate in life. And yet things keep varying. The conditions under which we lived yesterday are not the same conditions under which we're living today. And therefore, our active participation in life makes us susceptible to factors outside of our control that can lead us to regress. I saw a meme the other day that when someone said, when I wake up, I don't want to talk to anybody because I want to use 1 hour to defrost. That's exactly what I'm saying. You are not on autopilot. You are actively participating in this life. And therefore, in nearly everything you participate in relationships, there is susceptibility for regression. Now, I know some people will say, oh, don't be negative. You're being negative. You're preempting negativity. My relationship will never regress. I am a child of the Most High God. Well, did you know that the relationship between God and mankind regressed? And God was in charge of that relationship, but not necessarily 100%. Marital relationships at most regress. We need to be aware of that. We want the best of the best, but we are unwilling to regress in the process of gaining treasured bliss. And when I'm talking about that, there is, you are not ready for this, there is gemstones. Lord, there is beauty in regression. And I'm not going to unpack that just about now. You want to work out, you're going out to the gym to work out, there is going to be regression. You want to be healthy and fit, there's going to be regression as a price to pay. You want to build your startup, there is going to be some form of regression. In your workplace, if you're employed, there is going to be some form of regression one way or another. It is foolhardy for us to expect smooth sailing from the get-go all the way. So what we gotta do, we need to start making mindset shifts. Because if we don't, we end up in a state of apathy. And at worst, but at best, we end up hating to regress. And as much as we hate to regress when we are attempting to be better than what we are at the moment, we are not growing. Because when you are in the moment where you are hating the regression, you are not in the moment to harness the fruits or the things that this regression brings. There is no growth that I know of ladies and gentlemen, that is devoid of regression. All forms of growth and development have to go through a season, a down season, especially, by the way, in the initial stages where we regress before an upturn. That's why sometimes you go into an organization. I've worked in an organization before, and they are starting up some new project. The first quarter, they want results. Are you kidding me? You guys, you're not growing mushrooms. You cannot want results in the first quarter. The first quarter is for growth. It is for you to realize what's going on. How will the product be accepted? It's a relationship between you and your product and the markets that you're releasing the products to. Those three things, you've got to find a sweet spot where they operate. Probably your product offering is not good. Probably it's not the correct timing for the product to be out. Probably the product itself is not good. And probably the end users are not necessarily interested in the product. Maybe they have alternatives. When you are starting up something, whether you're starting a new routine, starting a new relationship, anything new, I warn you, has potential sooner or later. You normally hear this, to have the end of the honeymoon. The honeymoon has come to an end. There's going to come a time where the honeymoon ends. And that is where regression begins. But what are we saying? We're saying that this regression is part of the equation of success. So be very careful. When the honeymoon ends, it doesn't mean the marriage has ended. When the honeymoon ends, it doesn't mean there cannot be another honeymoon. When the honeymoon ends, it doesn't mean you made a wrong decision. And I'm not just talking about marriage here. I'm talking about everything that we have initiated, everything new. There will be a moment of regression where the honeymoon ends. Let us start talking about the things we shouldn't do, the things we should not be caught doing when the honeymoon ends. Tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.